Hey everyone, it's great to meet you. My name is Ian, and I'm the product manager for the compliance group under the governance stage here at GitLab. I'm joined by Nate, who is the EM for the compliance group under the governance stage here at GitLab. And today, I'd like to share with you what we're looking to work on for the 17.2 release and the problems that we're hoping to solve with these initiatives for all of our GitLab customers. So on the screen, what you'll see is our priority list for the release. And we'll start off with chatting about custom standards adherence configuration and multiple compliance framework labels. If you've watched the 17.1 as well as 17.0 compliance group update, hopefully this doesn't come as a surprise, but we are still continuing to work on custom standards adherence configuration, moving into 17.2, as well as multiple compliance framework labels. For the 17.2 release, we are aiming to release the multiple compliance framework labels for that. And as mentioned in previous videos, what we're trying to hopefully solve with this initiative is that, at the moment that compliance frameworks share a one-for-one relationship with projects, that as users can only apply one compliance framework per project. And so what we're hoping to achieve with the 17.2 release is that we are now providing users the capabilities to actually apply multiple compliance frameworks to one project. So that means that you can have two or more labels to a single project, which will then scope those projects within the multiple requirements within those frameworks. And then we'll also be, obviously, as mentioned, continuing to work on custom standards adherence configuration as well. Third on the list, as you can see there, is we've been working on basically fixing a bug that we actually introduced earlier on, and essentially ensuring that we're able to provide visibility to users around frameworks that are being applied to projects and subgroups. So the way that we're going to do this is to make the Compliance Center available to projects and subgroups. So just to sort of note for any viewers or users that are looking at this now, by making the Compliance Center available to projects and subgroups, what we mean here is that we're only providing visibility. So that means that, if you were to go into a project or a subgroup, we would actually give you sort of like a Compliance Center to be able to view compliance frameworks through that and see sort of what the frameworks that are being applied to your project subgroups. But in order to actually create a new framework or to edit a framework or to apply a framework to a particular project or subgroups, you still have to go back to the top level group in order to do that. So this is merely a visibility enhancement so that, we're able to solve the problems around being able to see the Compliance Center at that level, at that sort of lower level project subgroups. But again, just to ensure that we are enabling the editing and creation and application of compliance frameworks for the right people, you'll be able to only do all of that on the top level group. So we're hoping to ship this visibility change as well for the 17.2 release. Moving down the list to number 4, around compliance pipeline to security policy migration. So again, hopefully this is nothing new for those that have been following our video series of updates. What I do want to sort of highlight for this one is that at the moment, we do have a communication plan that we've created for this migration. So at the moment, what we are aiming for is that because this is a breaking change, we are actually going to be completing the removal of compliance pipelines and subsequently asking users to actually set your compliance pipelines in security policies by at least the 18.0 release. But as part of that, what we're trying to do is that we're trying to communicate as much as possible and to be transparent with all stages of our work so that affected customers, such as maybe some of yourselves that are watching at the moment, that you can actually follow along with our progress and to actually understand where and when the complete deprecation can be expected. So as you can see, this is the issue that we have that we want to transparently share with everyone. And as you can see here, we've also actually broken down the summary of work phases that we are expected to go through in order to complete the deprecation. So as you can see here, what we're going to be doing is that over the next couple of releases, we'll actually be releasing blog posts, YouTube videos, presentations of all kinds. You'll have updates such as this as well to actually inform you around the deprecation as well. So please look out for those. And what I would like to encourage anyone that's watching this now and that this actually impacts you is to actually already start moving your compliance pipelines over. So although we are aiming for 18.0 to basically sunset the ability to set compliance pipelines in compliance frameworks, you can already start setting compliance pipelines in security policies basically right now from the versions of 17.1, 17.2 essentially. So if you want to just please start moving over to security policies for your compliance pipelines so that by the 18.0 release, hopefully you've got nothing else to solve, move over by that stage and that everything's sort of set for you. So we'll continue communications around this. And we'll make sure that you all continue to be updated around our progress as well. But yes, just wanted to really highlight this for anyone watching and that this impacts you in going into the future. Cool. All right. So just moving on to number 5 on that list around the third-party connector to Snowflake. So as it was in the 17.1 update video, we are still working on providing and expanding support in the Snowflake Marketplace app for additional APIs, starting with the APIs around users, projects, and repository data. And again, for users, this will allow users to pull even more important and pertinent data from GitLab into Snowflake, and obviously ensure that you have a safer, secure, and more compliant GitLab instance. So again, we're continuing to work on that, and hopefully we'll be able to release a couple more of those APIs for the 17.2 release. And finally, for the last two priorities there on 6 and 7, we continue to put product performance at the forefront of our thinking, particularly when it comes to audit events and audit event streaming. So to that end, we continue to undertake key database changes via the sales initiative and consolidation of tables for streaming audit events. And this is to ensure that audit streaming remains performant and efficient in helping you, our users, collect key information that you're after and to understand the compliance posture of your GitLab instance via your audit events. So yeah, those are the priorities from product. I'll hand it over to Nate to chat about the work required from the engineering perspective. Over to you, Nate.
Thanks, Ian. So yeah, as mentioned, the highest priority for us at the moment is the custom standards adherence configuration. We've been working on the more technical implementation planning during 17.1. During 17.2, we want to aim to have that completed and have the initial database migration work underway, if not complete, so that we can get into the work proper on the APIs in 17.3. The next one is the multiple compliance framework labels. So in 17.1, we released a lot of the API and backend work behind feature flag and have started on some of the front end work as well. In 17.2, we're going to release all of this together. So look out for that in the release post at the end of the milestone. Next up is the third-party connector. So we've been working on how to upgrade and the versioning of the third-party connector itself. This has held up a little bit of our work on some of the APIs that we wanted to add, but we're still on track to add 3 new APIs to this connector in the 17.2 milestone. The next one is the compliance pipeline to policies migration work. So we have all of the banners built behind feature flags throughout the product at the moment. We are testing that at the moment and we're just looking to make sure that the migration flow is working perfectly for all of our users before we release that. Maybe we might release that in 17.2. We'll just see how the testing goes. The next is the sales work. So we have completed all of the database migration work in 17.1. We are hoping to have the Finder and Presenter layer within the product moved over to this new architecture in 17.2 and start work on syncing the data from the old tables to the new tables so that hopefully we can start looking at testing these features in 17.3. The next one is the consolidation of streaming audit events. So we have actually completed all of the APIs in 17.1. It just made it, I think. But the next stage is to look at enabling the streaming to these new destinations themselves, but behind a feature flag, so that in 17.3 we will enable it through the front end as well as the APIs and turn on that feature flag to use those new APIs. And then the last one is the Compliance Center available at project and subgroup level. So we, as mentioned, we are working on both allowing this at subgroup and project level, and it is available at subgroup level at the moment, and also for making sure that premium users are able to access certain functionality within that as well. That is on track for delivery as well in 17.2. And that's it from the engineering perspective.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate. Great. So that's the update for the 72.2 release for the compliance group here at GitLab. Thanks for listening. And yeah, we'll speak soon.
Thank you.